do this. So I'll do this. So if I open it in, yep, let's see what's going to happen. Do I need to drop the table? Yeah, drop the table if it exists. Aha, so this works fine. Yep. Yeah, so it worked fine. Let me refresh this. I have my salary. So let me view my table and salary one. Change name, but doesn't M salary one. Said it doesn't exist. I'm in a different I'm in a different I'm in the default database is RMS and I'm going to another different database. So that's why it's giving me error. Okay, so I'm supposed to correct this as well, but it's still fine. Not a problem. Okay, so I have different names, age, department, and their salary, right? And I want to rank, or let's say I want to find the average salary for each department. So we have two departments. We have sales department and we have finance department, right? Hey, can you guys hear me? So let's say I want to find the average salary of this particular each department, and I also want to display the table. I still want to display this table. I'll use the aggregate windows function. How do I do that? So I'll say I'll say average. What I want to average? I want to average the salary, right? That's what I want to average. But the problem with this is if I do an average, I'm going to get an error. It will be telling me because I need a group by. And so I can say group by, I'll say group by department, right? Yeah, so department. I'll still get an error, and because I actually need to remove this and just say maybe department. But this is not really what I want. I actually want to display every table, and so you can see the average salary by this. But I want to display it side by side with the main table. That's what I want to do. So the aggregation of average will not work because it will be a whole lot of headache. Now, what do? I'll create a Windows function. And all I just need to do is to do whatever this Windows function is, whatever I want to do, rank, dense rank, row number, or aggregation like average, then I'll just put over. And I'll nickname it as something, as, let's see, average salary. And I'm going to run it. Now, it just did average salary for all the salaries here. But I want to do it by each department, right? And what do? I will just say, I want to create a partition. So I'll say partition it by department. That's what I want to do. So it's going to create for every department, sales department, it will do the aggregate for it, and for the finance department to do the aggregate for it. And I'm going to run it. So he said, did I say, department, I didn't spell it wrong. Sorry about that. So you can then see that I have different average salaries for different departments. For sales department, the average of it is 25,000. How do you get it? It will be 30 plus 20 divided by 2, right? That's 50,000 divided by 2, which is 25,000. You can see it here. If I want to do a good formatting of this, I'll just say X, I'll say Z, say, because again, I remember when we did the formatting, X, I'll say format, I would say average by what? And 0, and it's still an aggregation that I've just did. Why is it showing me error? Why is it showing me error? It's not supposed to show me error. Well, let me run it and see. Okay. Sorry about that. Right. Okay, so it doesn't work. Well, I don't know why. It's not recognizing it's not recognizing the format. I wonder why. But you can see you can actually see the 40,000 here, which is the average salary for finance department, because this is 50,000, 50,000, this is 20,000. So it will be 120,000 divided by 3, which is 40,000. And you can see different average salary for different departments. Does that make sense? The same thing if we want to do a ranking of highest salary to lowest salary by department. I could just say select all. I would say from, again, I'll just use this because that's not my current default database. And I'll say, comma, I'll now use the rank. I'll say over, and I'll just say as ranking, and I'm going to run it. It's not going to do anything because I need to say I want to rank it by something, or I want to do it by something. So if I want to rank it by something, I might say by ranking by I'll say order by what am I ordering by salary, right? Maybe in descending order. But this is not what I want. So I'll use the dense ranking. It's still not going to give me what I want, but I'm getting there. So it has ranked it 50,000, one like that. But I want to rank it by department now. You can see that finance is here, finance is also here. I want to rank it by department. I'll still say partition by what department, and I will then see order by salary descending order. And once I do that, you can then see that finance department is one department, and the highest ranking is these guys that have 50,000, followed by the second highest rank, which is 20,000. Then for sales department, we have 30,000, which is the first ranking, that's the highest paid, and 20,000, which is the second highest, which belongs to this particular person. They use Indian names. I cannot really pronounce them. So this is how we actually do Windows function, and you can create very crazy logic, right? Using this. Let's say I want to let's say I want to add a comment here. I didn't even know why I did not think about this. Let's say I wanted to add a comment here. I think I should create a link. Let's see if 4 minutes is going to be enough. I hope I'm recording this or not. Maybe not interesting. Um, sorry, just a moment. I want to check. So let's say I want to add a comment here that if this person is first position, you just say first position, second, like that, right? So what I can do is to use what they call case. How does case work? I would, the Microsoft Excel where you say if something is this on a particular column, do certain things, or you can the way you do like grouping in Microsoft Excel where you either use the if statement. So there is a function or a syntax called case, and so you can create a case, give conditions, and what it does is if what you are trying to measure meets that particular condition, it's going to create a new column, and it will use whatever you have set up for to replace that condition as your new values in your new column. Sorry, let me just send you guys a new link, and let's see. This call is about to go off very soon. I think we'll just use the next 10 minutes, and let me just explain this this case, and I think we'll be done. Hold on. What's up? Sending you guys the link through WhatsApp now. You can log off, then join. I'm going off this now. So now let's say I want to create a new column based on that grouping. So if you are one, say first position, if you are two, say second position, something like that. What I can then do is to say on top of this, I'll create a subquery. I can either create a subquery or a common table expression. Anyone is fine because I want to maintain this new table. Does that make sense? I want to maintain this table. So I can create a subquery. I can either say my subquery is my new table, and I'll see as new table. This will be my subquery. So it's still the same thing. Nothing has been done. Now, what can I then do? I can then create my case. How do I create my case? I'll still create my case in the select because I want to create a new column. So it's still in the select. I'll say comma. I can then go down and say case. I'll say case. And then I'll then say when ranking is equal to 1. No, is it when or if? Confirm, or usually used to forget this thing. I don't this stuff for some reason. Okay, so when ranking is equal to 1, then I would say first position. First position. Then I'll go to the next page. I'll say when ranking is equal to 2, then I'll say put second position. I can then say, being that I only have these two positions, I can then say else. Just put third position or no position at all. If it is not any of these, just say no position at all. Just say no. Then I'm going to end my case by saying end, and I'll end it as something. I want to, because it is a column I want to create, I'll just say positions. That's the name of my column, and that will be the end. So when I'm then done, because this is, I have to give this an alias, and so I will then run it back, and if I run it, then guess what's going to happen? Nothing good. So you can see first position, second position, then for sales, first position, second position, and I can do anything. So if I say, maybe if ranking is equal to 1, um Celia, for instance, since just came, maybe second position, I'm going to say 2, else put the last person that is here, huh? And I'm just going to run it, and you can see I have Celia for first position and Idewu for second. Sorry, Idewu, I'm using. Don't mind me. So this is how you use case, and so basically use case in the select, use case to create um um a new column, and you use case. So you start with case when the condition output, if you have multiple conditions output, there's always end it with an else. So if all of these conditions is not there, what then is going to happen? Let's say if I say um let's see let's see okay, I don't have anything off the top of my head, but I will show you what the else does. I would have shown you what the else does. Let's
What
say,
if you say sorry?
okay, talk.
What if you say just rankings equal to 1, then Sicily, and then remove the second line, and so it's only 1, and then else minimat. Every other thing after 1 is minimat.
Else, okay, so okay, I can let, oh, true. That's interesting. So any other thing is moving that. So if I do this,
It's still the
number
within
one,
okay.
if it's not one, is if it's not Cecilia, then to Christina. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's how the else works. So I just wanted to show you how the else works. And hopefully, I will be sending
Sorry, I want to ask a question. So end as position, that means you should put the column name as position.
as position. So if I say n as something, it's alias now. You know the as, you use
Yeah,
as,
yeah, yes, yes.
giving it a nickname. Because if I
Okay.
don't do that, it's not going to look very funny for me if I don't do that. Can you see? So it's coming up with the whole of what I wrote, which is why I need to give it an alias, right? Otherwise, it will come up with the column with the whole of what I just finished writing, and you don't really want to do that. That being said, I think I have um, discussed so far the basics of SQL. I think, not sure about that. So, oh, I've not done. I think I've done having, and I told you the use of having. Okay. The remaining one are just
Sorry, can you please? I don't really get the difference between in what instances do we use having. Like I see some places is where some is having. Is there a particular reason why?
let me show you why you use having. If you do an aggregate function, right? Um and you give it an alias, you usually use having to call the alias. If you want to use where, the where, whatever you are putting there has to exist, the column has to exist in that particular table. But when you are using having, is if you are using some form of aggregate function and you give it an alias, and you don't want to say where average is this, for instance, or where, okay, let me explain what that. Oh, I'm going to copy this, my just going to copy put it. Okay. I will use not dense rank but average. I want, no, should I use average? Oh, cool. I want to do this. Actually, I'm not supposed. I'm not going to. Uh, so I have my table, right? So I want to get average salary by department or average salary by. Right? This is not right. Okay, cool. I'll say average salary by department. I will do the average salary. I'll now group by department. Say group by just so I have, oh, so I didn't mention the department. Sorry, right. Supposed to say department, then ah, it's salary. So I have for finance average salary of 40,000. Let's say I want to say just give me the department that have average salary of 35,000, at least 35,000. So I will say, what will I say? If I say where here, I will say where. Let's say I call this as an alias, as I give it an alias called average salary. So if I want to give this condition now, um my new column is average salary, right? My new column is average salary. So I want to say where, just give me only department that have average salary of more than 35,000. So I'll say where, which is the condition. I'll say where. So what will I say? Where what? Will I say should I say average underscore salary? Right? Now once I run it, I would get an error. Why is that? Before I use the group by department function, there is nowhere in my table, my main table in this particular table that has average salary. If I want to use where, oh sorry, where average salary is greater than or equal to 35,000. Sorry, apologies for that. And that is supposed to be here. Now there's nowhere my M salary table exists average salary. So if I want to use the where condition, I will just copy this average salary. I would say I'll put it here. But it's not usually a clean way to write your SQL, right? It works, but oh, okay, oh, so it said invalid um use of group function. So I think I even have to say group by then where. Sorry about that. So it doesn't really work per se. No, confused here now. No. Confused. Z, Z. So it's saying that invalid use of group function. Um, yeah. So if I want to do this, I usually would say where having actually, and I'll say having. Okay, so no, sorry. The where function might not it's obviously not working. So if I say group by, then I can then say having average salary, okay, greater or equal to 35,000. And once I run this, you can see I do have some level of success. First of all, I can't use where if I'm going to use group by. That's another thing. Especially that I want to use I've created a new table and I want to refer to this new table. The where syntax is not going to work. If I want to use where syntax, I would say where thing, if I remember correct. The where syntax I can say where department, for instance, which is existing in the main table, is I would say sales. What do you think I'm going to get? I'm not going to say anything. The empty table. Why? Because average salary for sales is less than 35,000, so I'm not going to get anything. But if I say finance, for instance, um it will still give me the same thing. This would work nicely if I have more data. But just know that the having, you use it especially when you are doing aggregation on a new table and you want to refer to that particular new column. You understand? You can use the having for it. If you want to use where function or where syntax, you have to use a column that exists in the original table. Does that make sense? Cool. Any other questions for Leaf? So, getting any other questions? Mr. Abiola, no questions. Mr. Idowu, no questions, because I'm about to send you guys a very very hot assessment. The assessment is this. I don't know if any of you know Cowrie is an organization. I don't know what they do, but I think they do investment and stuff. Anybody know that particular? Yeah, this Cowrie, Cowrie Wise. Yeah, sorry. Um, does anybody know this particular organization? Somebody got a job there and they sent them. Yeah, so somebody wants to say something. Said yes.
I've heard about it. I think it's an investment. I think it's like an investment platform. I'm not sure.
Okay, so um this thing looks very very good, but too good. You have 100,000 2 years before you now have. God. Anywho, um, so they sent the guy the interview. Let me show them. I have kept that interview especially for guys. It's a very easy. It's an easy interview. Don't get, but you work very interesting. So I'll be sending this to you guys very soon. Ah, you would load the data. Look at the link to the data. I think I already have the data, but this is the link data. Download it, or I'll just send it right stuff. Just download it. I already have the data. But the data is here. Is a SQL file that you run, and yeah. So these are the SQL file. You just run them. and it's going to insert different. Again, these are then your attempt question. I'll send them to you. It's a very it's a bittersweet assessment. So these are the questions, the bittersweet assessment, and wishing you guys the best of luck. Any questions? No. Any questions before we? Okay. I'm going to assume that there's no question. Um, hopefully everything that we did here we did here. You are going to attempt the this assessment. So without anything, wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.